Well, hello, demons. How's it going, everybody? Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're ready to get back into the land of economics. Today is October 12th for White Day students and October 13th for Red Day students. Please make sure you're taking a look at this warm up first and foremost. It's going to kind of get into what we're going to be talking about today, which is economic goals in relation to education, healthcare, and military. So, take a look at this warm up, hit pause, and then continue. Okay, like I said, today's objective is to evaluate a country's ability to achieve economic goals as determined by access to education, healthcare, and military indicators. So, before we do that, I have a quick announcement for White Day students. This doesn't relate as much to you because if you're reading this, then you're probably a hybrid or blended learner anyways, so you wouldn't be going to school anyways on Wednesday, but everybody's going to be online on Wednesday because there is a professional development as well as 10th graders are doing a PSAT test. So make sure that you're keeping up with things on Wednesday so we can be hitting the ground running once we come back on Friday. Before we go into anything else, guys, I'm going to do a PPBE grade for each unit. And so as you can see here, I've got the rubric for unit number 1, which remember was it culminated with our SDL on utilization and allocation of resources. And so I just want you to self-assess yourself and say, for the assignment, just say, I feel that I deserve this out of 15 on PPBE for Unit 1 because, and then give a little bit of evidence. So I'll take that into consideration as I'm going through. It's going to be a 15-point grade because there's 5 points for 3 different categories. So as you can see here, we've got responsibility, respect, and perseverance. So for each of those 3 categories, there's descriptors as far as whether you did those things consistently, frequently, approaching, developing, or beginning. So you can get up to 15 points. Remember, this is 5% of your grade, and so make sure that you're doing this by next class. So go ahead and pause, find that element of the assignment, and go ahead and complete that. Remember, you just say, I feel that I deserve this out of 15 because, and then give me a little bit of reason why. All right, guys, moving on to the assignment for today, we're going to be continuing with the CIA World Factbook, and we're going to be taking a look at a few other areas as far as statistics within here. So the main indicators that you're going to be going into today are educational expenditure, military, and healthcare. So you can see that for questions 1, 2, and 3, you're going to be doing that in relation to the United States. So I gave a little hint that for question number 1, it says, what's the current health expenditure in the US and what does this mean? And then for number 2, it said, what's the educational expenditure in the US and what does this mean? I'm going to tell you what it means and also where to find it. So as long as you're watching the video, it'll be very easy for you. The current health expenditure means that the percentage of the GDP, of the gross domestic product, that a country is using on healthcare, that the government is using on healthcare. So it says what percentage that their GDP is being dedicated to healthcare. And the hint is also very helpful that it says look in the people and society section. So you go down to people and society, you click on that, and then you see what it is for the United States. For the educational expenditure, very similar. It's the percentage of the gross domestic product that's being dedicated to education. So that is the amount that's being taken out of the federal budget, the percentage of the overall gross domestic product that's being utilized for education. And then finally, for the military expenditure, very similar. It's the percentage of the federal budget, all the amount that the U.S. government has collected in taxes that's being dedicated to the military. So once you have that, you are going to complete this chart here for other countries. So like we did previously, you're going to choose 2 mixed market countries and 2 mixed command countries. Remember that you need to match up the continents. So if you do United Kingdom, you need to do Greece. If you do Rwanda, you need to do Kenya. If you do Brazil, you need to do Chile, and if you do China, you need to do Taiwan. So you're going to put your countries right there, make sure that those two countries are from the same continent, and then same thing with these two countries over here. You are going to find the healthcare expenditure in the ranking, the educational expenditure in the ranking, and the military expenditure and the ranking. So once you have that completed, you are going to answer the questions on the evaluation. So on the evaluation, it says, using the statistics above, which country best represents a command economy? So it's not necessarily at first which country is doing the best in those areas. I do want to get there eventually, and we're going to be talking about this as we go forward. But the main thing is which country best represents a command economy. So remember about what we talked about with command, that it's basically where um, the government uses their resources to be able to provide these services for its citizens. So if you're seeing that more of the expenditure is being dedicated to those areas, then you would say, I believe that this country is more representing a command economy. And you might be surprised because you might think that the mixed command countries would be the ones that are going to show up. But I would be willing to bet that it's other countries that may be more dedicating resources to those elements as opposed to the mixed command. So I'm really curious to see what you guys find out. It also says, how would you infer as to the current status of healthcare, education, and military in each country? Based on how much money they're spending on those things, how do you think that they're going? Well, I feel that Brazil is dedicating a lot of money to healthcare, so I bet that everybody's healthy there. For example, I'm not looking at the data in front of me, so I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's an example of what you might want to put. And then finally, which country do you agree with the most as far as allocation of their GDP to the sectors listed above? So in other words, let's say that Taiwan is dedicating a ton of money to education and military and not that much to healthcare. And you're like, that's exactly what I would do. I would dedicate a lot of money to education and military and not that money to health, not that much money to healthcare because of this. Or I would rather dedicate all of my money to healthcare because I want to keep people healthy, and this country is doing that, and that's why I would support them the most. So remember that section on the evaluation needs to be at least 3 sentences, and then you're going to move on to part two. Part two, I have provided 2 articles for you guys. It is related to something called school vouchers. So school vouchers is basically where families are given a voucher which says that you can take this voucher and you can go enroll yourself and your children in either a public school, a private school, or a charter school. A public school and a charter school, you don't need a voucher for because they're free anyways. But for a private school, that's where you need the voucher. You give that voucher to the private school, and instead of paying however much money it usually would be, the federal government or the government would pay for that. I believe it's more along the lines of state. But anyways, it's a very controversial topic, and it has to do with kind of this idea of a command economy in education and whether or not we need to loosen up the reins a little bit as far as not dedicating as much money to education or depending more on our private sector for education. And so you get to choose one of these claims. And you might want to read a little bit of each article first before you decide. So on the assignment, you'll see that there's a link to each of the articles. Choose either one of these claims. So we're going to do claim evidence reasoning. It says soapbox CER, claim evidence reasoning on education. So you're going to use these 2 articles below, choose one of these claims, and then provide evidence and reasoning from the articles to be able to get ready for a debate. So next class, actually it'll probably be on Friday and Monday. On Friday and Monday, we are going to be participating in a little bit of a debate on these topics. So we're going to get to education with these 2 articles, and then we're going to do a similar thing on Wednesday and Thursday related to healthcare and military. And then we're going to do a debate protocol related to that. So be ready to provide some good evidence to be able to argue your point and reasoning as far as how that evidence proves your claim. So the two claims that you can choose are either that school choice promotes competition and quality in education, or school vouchers hurt public education. So I would read a couple paragraphs from each article before you make your decision. Choose one article. You need to read one article all the way through. But check it out, guys. You do need to provide a counterclaim here. And then you need enough information to be able to disprove your counterclaim. So what that means, you would say, let's say I choose this pro right here. School choice promotes competition and quality in education. That's what I'm going to be going into, finding my evidence, etc. But then I'm going to do my counterclaim. Some people may feel that school vouchers hurt public education. In this article, because it says from the other article, in this article it says that this is why school vouchers hurt public education. But then you're going to disprove the counterclaim. You're going to say, even though they say that school vouchers hurt public education, that's not true because, despite the fact that this statistic that's being said over here, that's not true because I know because of this. So that's where you're going to disprove, you're going to say that that counterclaim is false and why. Okay. So this outline is going to be what we're going to be doing um, for our next couple of classes. So make sure that you're getting this one ready to go for next class. And then we'll do a couple similar ones related to the whole pull and push between command and market in these areas. Um, and so we're starting out with schools, education, and then next time we're going to be going into healthcare and military. And then on Friday and Monday, we'll do a debate in class related to those areas. Okay. All right, guys. So we did have quite a bit of stuff this time around. Please make sure that you're keeping up with it. I think you guys are doing great. And that way, if you have this outline ready to go, then once we do that debate on Friday and Monday, then you'll be ready to go. But the assignment itself is due by um, Wednesday or Thursday when you walk in the door. So make sure that you're getting that assignment done so that you don't need to worry about this part of it for Wednesday and Thursday, so that you can be working on the other articles, because there's going to be similar articles for healthcare and military. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great beginning of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.